So the app opens and we are presented with the login screen. There are two options, sign up and log in. This URL points to the blank address in the routes list. Which in turn points the app to the accounts.index, the index method in the accounts controller. And in turn, it loads the index.hbs or the HTML content in this file. This has a link to a partial, the welcome menu partial, which renders the menu at the top. So if we click sign up, we point the app to the sign up route. That will render the page that you can see here. So the sign up route here directs the app to the sign up method in the accounts controller, which renders signup.hbs, which has a form element inside that is linked to the register route. So when we enter the new details of a new user and click submit, that submit button directs the app to the register route. The register route calls the register method in the accounts controller. This method creates a new object which requests the information in the form using this line of code. Creates a new object for a new user. Creates a randomly generated ID to identify the user. It sets the user type automatically as member. It adds this user to the user store.json file, and then it redirects the app back to the welcome page, the starting page. So when we click login, we're presented with this form. The HTML content for the form is in the login.hbs file. As we can see, this form is linked to the authenticate route. So when we click login, the app is going to be linked to the authenticate route, which is going to call a method authenticate within the accounts controller. The authenticate method in the accounts controller is going to take the information that the user inputs into the login form. They use the email and password. It's going to do a password check to make sure the password is correct, and then it's going to generate the relevant user given the email that was input. It's going to make sure that this user type is a member, or check if it's member or trainer. If the user type is member, the app is going to be directed to the dashboard route, which will render the user dashboard. If the user is not identified as a member, it must be a trainer, then the app is directed to the trainer route, which will render the trainer dashboard. So when the user logs in, they are presented with their user dashboard. The information within this dashboard is generated in the index method in the dashboard controller. There are some fields declared: BMI, BMI category, a Boolean to tell the user whether they are within the range for their ideal body weight. These fields are calculated, or the values within these fields calculated within the analytics.js file, which consists of a number of methods that calculate these values. And they have conditional statements within to compare and contrast values to give the appropriate information. So when a user adds an assessment, the methods within the analytics.js file will take in that information. And when you're adding an assessment, you will be creating a new assessment object but also redirecting to the dashboard. When you redirect to the dashboard, these fields will recalculate with new information provided by the user in each assessment to give us a dynamic user dashboard which updates the BMI and all the relevant information with trends and so on. Also, a user can delete individual assessments using this button. That button it's linked to the delete assessment /ID route. This route, this line will pull the assessment ID and send it to this delete assessment route, which in turn sends it to the delete assessment method in the dashboard controller. The delete assessment method in the dashboard controller will read that ID and it will send that ID to the remove assessment method in the assessment store, and it will delete the appropriate assessment and also redirect back to the dashboard, recalculating our fields again to restore the information that was there previously. So when a trainer logs in, the trainer will be presented with the trainer dashboard, which has a list of users. When you click on a username, it also has the ability to delete users. When you click on a username, it will take you to a special version of the user dashboard where you can also add comments. So when we click on the update comment button, it's going to update the comment for that particular assessment. So that button is linked to a route which takes in two pieces of information, the user ID and the assessment ID. Takes that information and sends it to the add comment method in the dashboard controller. The comment is then updated into the appropriate place.